Getting accepted into Portland State University felt like the start of a new chapter. I left behind the scorching heat of Phoenix, packed my life into 2 suitcases, and headed north with a strange mix of excitement and anxiety. My budget was tight, so when I found a freshly painted apartment for cheap rent just outside downtown Portland, it felt like a lucky break. The place looked clean in the photos, too good to pass up. I arrived late at night. The air was damp and cool, unlike anything I was used to. The building was quiet, almost eerily so. The hallway lights flickered slightly as I carried my bags upstairs. When I stepped inside the apartment, it felt colder than it should have, like no one had lived there in a long time. But I was too tired to care. I dropped my things, lay on the bed, and fell asleep within minutes. That first night in the apartment, something felt off. I couldn't explain it, just this weird tension in the air. Maybe it was the stress. Maybe I was just overtired. I drifted off quickly, but sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up, sort of. My eyes were open, but I couldn't move, not even a finger. My chest felt like it was being crushed, and I swear I could hear something. Someone whispering in my ear. The voice was low, almost wet, like it was right beside me. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. My body was frozen. Then, as suddenly as it started, it stopped. I jolted up, gasping for air, heart hammering like a drum in my chest. The room was empty, quiet, but I didn't feel alone. Not really. My first day at Portland State was exhausting. New faces, new buildings, a constant buzz of introductions. By the time I got back to the apartment, my head was pounding. I tossed my backpack on the floor and collapsed onto the bed for a quick nap. I must have been out for maybe an hour when I woke up with a jolt, a sharp, stinging slap across my cheek. I shot upright, heart racing. The room was completely still. Sunlight filtered through the blinds and everything looked untouched, but my skin burned. I rushed to the bathroom mirror. There, on my cheek, was a faint red mark, like someone had hit me hard. My fingers trembled as I touched it. I stood there staring at myself, waiting for logic to kick in. Maybe it was a dream, just sleepwalking. Stress, right? But deep down, I didn't believe that. Something was seriously wrong. It was around 7 p.m. when I got back from a nearby cafe. Just needed some air and caffeine to clear my head. The sun was starting to set, casting a golden haze over the street. As I reached my apartment door and slid the key in, I froze. 3 children, barefoot, giggling, sprinted past me down the hallway. They looked no older than 8 or 9. I blinked in confusion. No one else lived on this floor. Before I could react, they darted straight into my apartment. The door hadn't even opened yet. I rushed in after them, but the moment I stepped inside, the laughter stopped. Silence. The room was completely empty. The overhead light flickered once. Then again, a cold draft brushed against the back of my neck, like someone had just slipped past me. I stood frozen, heart pounding. What the hell did I just see? The cold in the room turned sharp, like needles on my skin. My vision blurred. My chest tightened, breaths coming in short gasps. The walls felt like they were tilting in on me. And then, darkness. I collapsed. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, drenched in sweat, my body trembling. Everything ached. My head burned. I could barely lift my arm, but I reached for my phone and called the only person I could think of, Daniel, a classmate I'd barely known a week ago. He came fast, no questions, just concern. He brought me to his place, wrapped me in blankets. For days, I was out of it. Feverish, mumbling nonsense. They were in my room, the kids. They touched me. I don't remember much, but I know this. I'm never going back to that apartment. And I never found out who those children were. If they were children at all. It was a typical Saturday night at my place in Salem, Massachusetts. My best friend, his cousin Ethan, and our neighbor Jake dropped by for a chill hangout. We ordered pizza, dimmed the lights, and decided to watch Late Night with the Devil 2023, the latest horror movie everyone had been talking about. The eerie atmosphere in the film had us hooked. Flickering lights, demonic possession, twisted TV show vibes. As the credits rolled, Jake smirked and said, "Now let's see who's got a real scary story." I grabbed a soda and sat back, already thinking of one I'd heard recently. Ethan shifted uncomfortably, but we didn't pay much attention. We were just getting started. And that was the mistake. The story started light, haunted basements, shadow figures, sleep paralysis. But soon, things got darker. Jake shared a tale about a mirror that showed your death. I described a local legend about a girl who vanished in the woods behind my house. The room felt colder, heavier with each word. Ethan sat stiffly, barely blinking. His eyes kept darting to the dark hallway behind us. He rubbed his arms like he was freezing. Then, in a shaky voice, he muttered, "Guys, can we stop?" We all paused. I laughed nervously. "Come on, Ethan, it's just stories." Jake chuckled. "You scared already?" Ethan didn't answer. He just stared straight ahead. But we didn't take the hint. We kept telling stories. Ethan hadn't spoken in minutes. He sat stiff, eyes locked on the floor, breathing slow and shallow. We kept talking, but the energy had shifted. Then, without warning, Ethan stood up, walked toward me, and got way too close. His eyes were blank. Suddenly he screamed, "Stop!" But it wasn't just his voice. It was deeper, distorted, like two people yelling at once. Instinct kicked in. I shoved him back harder than I meant to, and my foot hit his chest. He flew off the bed and hit the floor with a thud. We all froze. Jake stood halfway up, unsure whether to laugh or help. "Dude, what the hell?" I asked. Ethan didn't move. Something felt wrong. Ethan pushed himself off the floor slowly, like something was puppeteering his limbs. His joints cracked as he rose. Without blinking, he walked straight toward me. I backed up, heart pounding, but he didn't stop. He got inches from my face, eyes wide, bloodshot, pupils gone. Then came the scream, "Stop!" but layered like one voice was echoing through a cave inside him. One was Ethan's, the other wasn't human. My blood ran cold. Before anyone could react, his body jerked violently. His spine arched backward, arms flailing at impossible angles. A sickening snap echoed in the room. He dropped like a sack of bones onto the floor. We stood frozen. No one dared to move or breathe. Jake flipped the light switch, and the room flooded with harsh white light. Ethan was sprawled on the floor, face flushed deep red, eyes rolled white, limbs twisted at angles that made our skin crawl. He was whispering something, low and fast, in a strange language that felt ancient and wrong. We stood frozen, unsure whether to help or run. Then, as suddenly as it started, the whispering stopped. Ethan's body twitched once, then collapsed fully. Silence, a long, dreadful silence. Slowly, his limbs began to untwist. His breathing steadied, and color returned to his face. His eyes fluttered open, normal again, confused. "What happened?" he muttered, sitting up weakly. We exchanged horrified glances, no one speaking. Jake handed him a glass of water with a trembling hand. No one told another story that night, and we never watched horror movies together again. Some doors, we realized, are better left unopened. It was a quiet Friday night in Valdosta. I was home alone. My parents were out for the weekend. I didn't mind. I liked the solitude. I ordered pizza, picked a horror movie, and curled up on the couch while texting my friends. Outside, a soft drizzle tapped against the windows, and thunder rolled somewhere far off. The storm made everything feel cozier, like I was tucked away from the world. Before settling in, I did my usual round, locked every door, checked the windows. It was routine by now, just something I did automatically. I remember double-checking the back door too, or at least I thought I did. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to that moment. I was halfway through my movie when I heard a faint click from the laundry room. Probably just the dryer finishing, I figured. I didn't get up. A few minutes later, I walked into the kitchen for a soda and noticed one of the drawers half open. Weird. I hadn't used that one all night. Maybe I bumped it earlier? I closed it and grabbed my drink. Just as I sat down, my phone buzzed with a text and, at the same moment, the lights flickered. The storm must be getting closer. I laughed it off and texted my friend. "If I disappear, it's officially a horror movie night," she replied with a ghost emoji. I tried to keep it light. Around midnight, I headed upstairs to bed. While brushing my teeth, I heard a soft creak from downstairs. Just one, slow and deliberate. I paused. After a moment, I peeked into the hallway. Silence. Still, something felt off. I glanced toward the stairs and noticed a warm glow. The living room lamp was on. I was sure I'd turned it off. My stomach tightened. I went back down to double-check everything. The front door was locked, but the back patio door, it was slightly open. Just a crack. I froze. Had I not latched it fully? Maybe the wind pushed it? I closed and locked it firmly this time. I texted my friend. "Okay, that was weird." She replied instantly. "You good?" Back in my room, I tried to calm down, telling myself I was just being paranoid. Then I looked up and froze. The attic access panel in the ceiling was slightly ajar. I've never touched it. My chest tightened. This wasn't normal. I grabbed my phone and called my best friend, whispering, barely able to speak. She told me to call 911 just in case, she said. Then I heard it. A single footstep on the stairs, slow, heavy, creaking wood. My blood ran cold. I hung up, locked my bedroom door as quietly as I could, and slid into the closet. I tucked myself behind old coats, heart pounding so loud I thought whoever was out there could hear it. I didn't move. 12 minutes later, I heard pounding on the front door. "Valasta PD!" I burst from the closet, ran downstairs, and let them in. They searched the house and quickly found it, the attic hatch now fully open. Inside, they discovered a sleeping bag, food wrappers, even a flashlight. Someone had been living up there, quietly, for who knows how long. They think he came down when he thought I was asleep. If I hadn't noticed that panel, I don't want to think about what could have happened. The officers stayed until my parents got home early the next morning. I was safe, but changed. I haven't stayed alone since, and I probably never will. The silence I used to love now makes my skin crawl.